The average adult is estimated to make 35,000 decisions per day, including conscious and subconscious choices. These decisions range from what to wear, what to eat, to larger, more significant decisions. And yet there's one crucial piece that's often misunderstood when it comes to why we experience decision fatigue, and that is, hi, my name is Michelle, and I was diagnosed with autism and ADHD at the age of 54 at the end of 2023. I started this channel so that I could share my own journey, the ups and the downs, how I'm learning to live life on the spectrum. And today I'm talking about decision fatigue because currently I'm experiencing that full blown. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you will understand why. But here's a little bit of a backstory. And so I'm looking at possibly purchasing a houseboat to live on, being on the water, even just, for small amounts of time is just so good. So to live in that environment when I work from home too would be just incredible. I made the decision, and yes, made the decision, but I actually made the decision when I was off work recovering from surgery. And I think possibly now I understand a little bit more why I made the decision to sell my home and purchase a houseboat to live on. And that was because I wasn't experiencing all of the stress that I normally do day to day with my job. So I was feeling a lot more free to make a decision. Well, now that I'm back at work and the stress continues, those decisions are ones that I've just basically had to take off the plate. So what is decision fatigue exactly? It's not just the time spent overthinking. It's the emotional weight carried with each decision left unresolved. It's the guilt for not making the decision. And it's the feeling that we've somehow failed by not being able to make the decision. When faced with a never-ending supply of choices or opinions, it's easy to see why we're overwhelmed and just can't make a decision. This constant mental load contributes to cognitive exhaustion. It drains your energy for the things you actually want to spend time on. Just how does decision fatigue lead to burnout? For late diagnosed autistic and ADHD women, decision fatigue is amplified because every choice involves layers of over-analysis. The mental energy required to mask ongoing, navigate what's expected of you, leaves much less capacity for decision making. And that's where I'm at. I'm in a position of cognitive exhaustion. And I'm in that position because of all the changes that are happening in my workplace, because of the fight that I've got with regards to my flexible work arrangement, and because I started the process of getting my home ready for sale. All of that means that I've got to make loads and loads of decisions. Decisions like, what houseboat am I going to look at? Am I going to look at a boat? Am I going to look at a houseboat? Am I going to look at a tiny home? Am I going to look at who knows what else? And so then I've been scrolling through all the listings and looking at all the things. And unfortunately for me, when it comes to something that's on the water, it requires a survey if you're smart. Like purchasing a home requires a building and pest report. There's a cost to that. A survey is far more expensive. And I don't have ready funds to do that with every single place that I want to have inspected. So I now have to kind of consider, do I actually keep looking or do I pull back, wait until everything quietens down at work? But in the meantime, my brain is going, no, you need to keep making these decisions because future you is going to be grateful for it. Future you is going to be in a much better place to create space for having a better nervous system, having a regulated nervous system instead of a dysregulated nervous system every day. And so then my brain is fighting. It's fighting itself. You've got to make these decisions. You've got to decide what you're going to do. Do you look for another job? Well, no, I don't, because work from home and also I'm in a job that I used to love, and that's the thing that really irks me more than anything, I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm just not being given the right support to do it. But back to indecisions, constant stress without recovery just amplifies everything. And currently I've got a few days off work after I had an incident, a medical incident where I had to call the ambulance and head up to the hospital. I'm okay, but the stress is now affecting my physical health. And I know that I need to take some time off to relax, and even though I don't have any leave left because of my recent surgery recovery, I've decided I have to actually take at least a few days and spend those few days trying to relax and recover from how my health recently presented. The mental energy required to mask ongoing, navigate what's expected of you, leaves much less capacity for decision making. That accelerates the cycle of burnout because you're under constant stress and there's no time to recover. Your body is overwhelmed. It's either in fight or flight or maybe even freeze fawn, and your brain just refuses to function. That's the step before burnout. Or if you're already in burnout or maybe borderline, that's the step that can push you over the edge and cause your brain to just go offline. It won't work. It can't work. Your memory is affected, processing times increase, and sometimes you just can't even process information and nothing makes sense to you. So what's next? How do you manage it? How do you recover? Well, that's a very good question. Let's talk about the need for support and how you can actually set yourself up for success to be able to recover. Decision fatigue is like running your mind on an endless treadmill. You never really rest. You just keep running until you collapse. Space means giving yourself permission to pause. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. The decision to sell my home, the decision on what houseboat to buy and where to live and all the things that I have to do, I've pressed pause. I'm still getting a few things done around the home, but I'm taking my time. I'm picking my battles. The battle at work is the biggest one. It's my biggest stressor. I can't remove that. I have to work. So instead of that, I've removed the decisions. I've pressed pause on the bigger decisions, and I'm giving myself more space in order to give myself time and give myself the opportunity to recover. Support. What does that look like? Support means finding ways to offload some of that mental weight. It could be practical, like delegating decisions to someone you trust. So for me, it could be with listing a bunch of things in downsizing. I can offload that to a friend and say, can you list these 3, 4, 5, 6 items on Marketplace, and they will go and do that for you. It could be practical, but it could also be emotional. It's as simple as calling a friend. Last night I spoke with my sister at length, and I basically just said to her, this is what I'm thinking. These are the options that I have, and I know that my brain is not thinking clearly, and I need your brain to help think for me. So please tell me what you think about these different things. And so she, I know, will always come back to me with honesty and clarity, and she did. And she said, this is the reason why I don't think that's a good idea. Perhaps this one's a good idea, but here are my concerns. And so that really helped me. So talk it through with someone who gets you. And that's one way that you can get some support. Another way is your therapist, and speak with them. And I've done that as well. Talking to your therapist allows you to offload all of that mental overwhelm and just get it out of your head. They may not have all of the answers, but they certainly can listen without judgment. And sometimes that's all we need as well. We're already judging ourselves every day. I should be able to do that. I should be able to do this. Why should you? We hold ourselves to a much higher standard than our neurotypical counterparts do. And we've always done that because that's how we've managed when we talk about masking and camouflaging ourselves into a neurotypical world? Well, when you can't make decisions, it's a red flag. It's a red flag because you are doing too much and you need to take some things off your plate. Hit that pause button and make sure that you get the right support. Self-compassion. It's something that I've spoken about before. It comes with learning a little bit more about who you are and accepting that measuring yourself against a neurotypical standard is unfair, and it really should be something that you stop doing, because it's certainly not going to help. In order to recover from decision fatigue, you need to be kinder to yourself. You deserve grace for how exhausting it all is. Burnout is not a personal failing. It's a byproduct of overextending yourself in an environment that demands constant decision making. Recovery involves gentle self-acknowledgement, taking intentional breaks, and not pressuring yourself to have everything figured out right now. It's okay to take your time in making decisions. And it's also okay to ask for help. That's probably one of the biggest things I find in the neurodivergent community. We're used to giving help, but we're very bad at accepting help. So maybe this is your cue to start asking, do you suffer from decision fatigue? Are you feeling burnt out? If this content is relatable to you, please hit the like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so that you don't miss out on the next time I upload a video. The last thing I want for any of you is to go through the hard things that I'm going through. I wouldn't want that for anybody. The reality of living in a neurotypical world when you have a neurodivergent brain is that we will experience burnout, and you likely have already experienced that. So we need to be better at understanding ourselves, being self-compassionate, making sure we have the right support in place, and ensuring that when we can't make decisions, that we're okay about that, that we take a step back and we're kinder to ourselves. So what if I can't make that decision right now? So what if I've had to hit the pause button and I can't make that happen right now? That's okay. It'll still happen. And there's no time frame on making major life changes. You've just got to go with the flow and work out what works best for you. Sometimes that means taking a step back and just letting a little bit of water pass under the bridge. Pardon the pun, houseboat? Yeah, anyway. Sometimes it just means being able to have a laugh, spend some time with friends, understand that it's not crucial that these decisions are made on a certain timeline. We all need to be kinder to ourselves. I hope you're doing okay. Thank you so much for joining me once again, and I look forward to catching you next time.